The Predator is the newest Predator movie, and this is directed by Shane Black and stars Keegan-Michael Key and Jacob Tremblay and Olivia Munn and a bunch of smaller name people. The guy that was in Hotel Artemis earlier this year. This does not star Arnold Schwarzenegger. This does not star the aliens from the Alien vs. Predator movie. And this is about when a young boy triggers the predators to come to Earth, and a ragtag team of ex-soldiers and a scientist have to fend off the predators. If you've seen in the trailer, there's a couple different predators. One average sized predator and one super duper big predator guy. So we get them in this movie, and I wasn't expecting too much from this movie. The first Predator movie is a big macho filled movie that's fun with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Second one's okay. The third one I enjoyed a little bit, and then you have the Alien vs. Predator movies that are just, we all know how people feel about those movies. Shane Black for me is a hit and miss director. I really did not like Iron Man 3, but I did enjoy The Nice Guys, so I was a bit curious to see how this movie would play out. And this is an odd Predator movie. It could be a good thing. This is definitely probably the funniest Predator movie and the most Predator movie that's not like a earlier Predator movie. This one just feels completely different from a typical Predator movie. And that's a good part for this movie because it feels like it's different, and there's a lot of comedy aspects to this movie, not just cheesy dialogue. It's just sometimes a straight up comedy. And it's also a very brutal film compared to the other Predator movies. This movie is really gruesome and straight up violent at times, which I thought was awesome. But there is many flaws as well in this movie that halters this movie from being absolutely terrific. Reading reviews after seeing this movie, I can understand why people really do not like this movie. And that's for several reasons. As you see in the trailer, there's two different Predators. And the reason for each different Predator being on Earth, they touched upon and they explained it and they told you everything you needed to know, but I never felt like they went in depth with that storyline. They didn't explore it as well as they could have. There was so much potential with their storyline and progressing it into future sequels. And when they wanted to explain both of these Predator storylines, I never felt like I got the full story. I felt like there was always something missing from each of those two Predators. Both of those stories were really cool, and I wanted to see how they were going to play out. But there was times where I just felt like something was missing from each of those stories, and the way they explained it felt like they were just brushing it off really quick and just giving you the minimum aspects of both of their stories, and when they could have explored it a lot more, which I found to be disappointing because each one of them were really cool, and I loved seeing them battle against each other. And then the movie ended on a kind of like a cliffhanger for a second movie, but I wanted them to explore more into these characters, these Predators, but I never feel like I got that. But the other parts of the movie are really great. Like I said, this is a very brutal film. There are so many violent scenes in this movie where like everybody in the crowd was just like clapping and having a good time with it, and it's really fun. My favorite aspects of the Predator movies is watching the Predators and the humans fight against each other, and there's a lot of it. I felt like they were having the climax like in the first like 20 minutes of this movie. It's crazy and it's a lot of fun. Those are definitely my favorite parts of this movie, and there's a lot of it just shooting each other and the Predator ripping people apart. It's a lot of fun, and those easily are the highlights of the movie. But something else I wasn't expecting to enjoy as much is this team of people that really didn't know each other. They ended up on a bus, and then they had to protect each other. A bunch of different personalities with people with weird tics. And, you know, in horror movies, like Predator and other horror movies, you don't expect to enjoy the characters too much. It almost seems like the characters are some of like the side part of the movie, but they really did a great job having you feel for these characters because they were in the whole movie and they worked together. And when it got towards the end, you felt something for these characters and you felt like they were a big part of the story, even though some of them felt maybe smaller compared to other characters. From each one of these little characters, each one had something different about them, and I liked each one of them in their own way, and they worked well as a team. They ripped on each other, but they were also there to protect each other as well. So I enjoyed the aspect. And the humor in here, there's a lot. There's a lot of humor. Every single scene. When there was a chance for a joke, Shane Black put in a joke and it worked. I found the movie to be hilarious. Jokes didn't come off as poor or lame or not well timed. I thought the jokes fit in perfectly and it made it for a fun blockbuster. The Predator has issues with telling its story and does feel a little convoluted at times and not reaching its full potential, but it is met nicely with those action scenes and the comedy and the characters. I think all of it worked nicely to make this a fun movie. I did enjoy it. I would watch it again in theaters probably. I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's not the best Predator movie ever made, but I still enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and give The Predator a B. Stay tuned this weekend. I got a ranking video for all 6 Predator films. I'm going to include the Alien vs. Predator movies as well in that ranking video. Best way to support this channel is to like this video and subscribe my channel here on YouTube. That's probably the easiest way if you want to help me on my channel here. Thank you guys for watching this video. You guys are the best as always. This is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.